Welcome to another episode of Cineflix. Today I am here with Tony and we have an exciting adventure story. I'm so excited to get into it. Tony, can you introduce yourself to our viewers today?
My name is Tony Fernandez, and I was born in Tanzania.
And what is the most exciting thing that has happened so far? I know it, but for our viewers.
Climbing the Kilimanjaro,
At what age did you climb the Kilimanjaro?
26.
Okay. Tony, that was a really young age to be climbing the Kilimanjaro. And how old are you right now? You look so fit.
I'm 91.
Okay, you would agree with me that Tony looks nothing above 70. You look good. Do you credit you being fit right now to
Well,
Kilimanjaro?
it could be part of it. You know, because that train showed me that the training, that you train yourself with exercise and you can maintain your health.
Nice.
I'm the oldest in the family. Nobody from my family has lived over 80.
So you did break the circle, a lot
Yeah,
of circles.
yeah,
Okay.
I worked for Barclays Bank, the British bank, and I worked for them. And as a privilege, they told me, we're going to send you to the outward bound school. And they paid for all the expenses. And I didn't know, I never climbed the mountain. I said, you might like to climb the Kilimanjaro. I said, I could try.
Well, you did more than just try. You climbed it.
And so I went to the Kilimanjaro. When I reached there, we were 12,000 feet above sea level. And it was freezing there. And we had sleeping bags, and we had to sleep in log cabins. And the breeze was just going through at night.
Okay, so you mentioned the outward bound school. What is that?
In Loitokitok in Kenya.
Okay. So what is the school for? Like who goes to the school? What do you do there?
People go there who want to climb the Kilimanjaro. They're trained on how to climb the mountain. It is a privilege that is given to people who are working in companies. Companies pay for them, and they send them.
Okay, so that's why your bank sent you.
Yeah.
How long were you at the outward bound school, and what did you learn? Like, can you walk us through your
I believe
training?
it was about 19 days. 19 days, 19 or 20 days. And so I didn't know what to expect, but they told me, bring your sleeping bag with you, and bring some warm clothes.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's what I did.
How many people were in your group?
It was split up into 4 patrols, 15 people each, in each patrol.
How was the training? Was it intense?
Yeah, we found out it was intense.
Okay, can you walk us through your training? What did they make you do?
Well, the first thing you do is you get up in the morning at the bugle call, and you stand around the flag in your swimming trunks.
Oh my.
And the temperatures are, when you're talking 12,000 feet above sea level, it's freezing.
In your swim trunks.
And you stand around there, and then we had to run 50 yards away from the flag area, and jump into a swimming pool that was built with cement, and it was not heated.
Oh.
And they made sure that you jumped into the swimming pool and your head was covered. If you didn't do it, they told you to go back again.
Why? Why do you have to be fully submerged in the water?
That's part of the training. And we had to run back to the log cabins and dry up in the log cabins. We didn't take our towels with us. You just in the swim trunks, and that was the whole idea. And mind you, nobody got sick.
How did that happen?
Well, they knew what they were doing, I guess.
Yeah.
So we went there and changed, and then we went for our breakfast. Now, before we went for breakfast, we were all out on the lawn there, and we had to do 10 exercises in 10 minutes.
No way.
Yeah. 1 minute push-ups, another minute sit-ups, another minute pull-ups. So it was 10 exercises all in before you went for breakfast. And I can tell you, the first week, everyone was rolling on the lawn, because they all the muscles all.
Oh,
Yeah, and our breakfast was a wonderful breakfast. We had beans on toast and a cup of tea. That was our breakfast.
oh my. Nothing heavy? I thought you would have something heavy because you had like
No,
a 10
beans on toast. So if you had excess baggage, you were going to lose it.
Because you had to be light to actually climb up the
Yeah,
mountain.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
And after that, we went around learning the rope knots and stuff like that, and cross country. They made us run cross country, and the lunches were not any better than the breakfast.
Okay, so nothing could be the beans
I
on
was
toast.
lucky because I used to play soccer, and I was in good shape. And when I went, the year I went, they were very strict. When you went for your medicals, you get a good clearance from the doctor, otherwise you couldn't go.
And was there like an age limit for you to climb the Kilimanjaro?
26.
26 was the max.
That was the maximum.
Okay.
If you're over that, they don't take you.
How old were you when you climbed?
I was 26.
The exact age. Okay, so you made it to the cutoff mark.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good.
yeah. Otherwise, because it's too strenuous. Getting up in the morning and running through that cold water.
I can just feel the chills just talking about it.
And then during the day, we did a lot of exercises, and we had to do cross country. We ran out, and we were running all in the game reserve. It's Amboseli Park, and they're all wild animals and everything there. You know, giraffes, elephants.
Were you exposed to any of the wild animals?
No, they don't do anything to you unless you tease them. They don't do. So in some places we were running alongside herds of zebras and.
Okay, there is one exciting thing that you told me that I think classify you as one of the bravest person. You are afraid of heights,
Yes.
but you climb the Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
How and why?
Yeah, and then we had to do rock climbing.
Okay.
Basically, rock climbing. There's someone holding a rope up there, and it's around your waist. You're not allowed to touch the rope. You're grasping with your fingernails.
Oh my.
And so when you get to the top, that means you've climbed did the right rock climbing. And abseiling, then on the other side, you're given a rope, and then you walk yourself down on the side of the rope. You know, so basically doing abseiling and rock climbing.
But like, how did you overcome your fear of heights to actually?
After I did abseiling, I thought that was a breeze.
So it wasn't as bad. It really wasn't as bad as you thought. Okay, so you have gone through the intense training. Talk to us about the climb.
The first night we went and camped in the caves, which was about 4 hours from our camp. So it's a dense forest, and you had to walk through for 4 hours. And we were given machetes, because the path in the meantime is the thing. Everything used to grow across the path, and we had to chop the grass and things like that. And after 4 hours, and then you came to the caves, and that's where we camped at night, in the caves. And we had to look for firewood and brush to light the fires, because we could all sleep in the caves. So we had a ground sheet. So what we did is put grass on the ground, and then our ground sheet on top of it, and we put our slept in our sleeping bags with the fire going.
Oh, right. Okay, you talked to me about two sides to the mountain or to the climb. We have the Kenyan side and the
Kenya
Tanzanian
side.
side.
We do all this on the Kenya side.
Okay, what's the difference between both sides?
The Kenya side is very steep. The Tanzania side, it's more gradual.
So the Kenyan side was a bit more challenging
Yeah.
than the.
So that's where the outward bound school was.
Oh. So you went to the tough side.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's good. So you climbed the mountain. Was there like a special technique in climbing that you used?
We did a few, we went up and down to the caves a couple of times. Final time we went there, they said, next time we come here, we'll be going up to the 14,000 feet. Now, beside that, we did a lot of other activities. You had the solo night.
Solo night.
It's called a solo night. They give you 2 matchsticks,
Okay.
and you're supposed to build a fire and sleep in that night. If you don't light a fire, you're in trouble.
Oh, because it's gonna be so cold.
Yeah. And I was lucky. I managed to get the fire going. And one of the guys who was there, he couldn't do anything. He asked me, "Can I crash in with you?"
Poor guy.
So I said, "Okay." And so that is a part of the training. We had 20 paratroopers from the British Army who were there, all young guys between the ages of 19 and 21.
Okay.
And they had a tough time. And they were very strict about smoking and drinking. And one of the guys got caught smoking in the washroom, and he was packed up on the same night and put on the bus to Nairobi and sent back.
He couldn't climb?
No, he did. That is right at the beginning of the training. And they were warned, no smoking, no drinking.
They were really strict, eh?
Yeah. We didn't encounter any animals. We saw a bit of elephant dung, but we didn't see any elephants. But there were a lot of monkeys on the trees. And once we cleared that portion, we got up in the morning and we climbed up to 14,000 feet. And we had to wash ourselves in a stream of water that is from water that's melting from the snow.
Oh!
Our fingers were all frozen.
Oh my! Oh, so chill. Okay,
But
that's
anyway,
cool.
we learned how to bear with it. The person who was leading us was one of the instructors. He had a torchlight with him, and he went to the front, and it was single file.
At 1 a.m.
Yeah,
Whoa.
in the morning. Everything was pitch dark. You couldn't see anything on either side of the thing. And the instructor told us, don't look back. It's a good thing that nobody looked back, because if many of them would have decided not to climb.
Okay.
It was really steep. And you take 2 steps, and then you're sliding down a couple of steps. And you could see the top of the mountain. But, in the moonlight, but we were not reaching there. We were just going and nothing was happening. And then about 7 o'clock in the morning, we reached Gilman's Point. You could see the sun starting to rise. But we walked around the crater, and we went to Uhuru Point. That's the highest point on the Kilimanjaro. Signed our names in a casket.
A casket?
Yeah, tin casket.
Okay.
It took us 5 hours to get to the top.
Okay.
And it took us only 40 minutes to go, 50 minutes to come down.
No way.
Yeah.
How? What was it?
Because you're sliding down.
You slid down.
Yeah, it is.
How safe was it to slid
So it's like this. It's very steep. The same side.
Same side?
Yeah.
Okay, but you slid down.
Yeah.
Oh. Was it like a fun ride going wee, or it's just
You didn't know what was going to hit you. Some people came with their cameras, and they were trying to take pictures without taking the cover off.
They didn't take the lens cap off?
Yeah.
Okay, so do not try to take a picture about the
Funny
Kilimanjaro.
things used to happen to people because the air is so thin. And you cannot discuss with anyone. Because an instructor told us, try and not discuss anything with anyone, because you can lose your temper quite easily.
That's good to know. Okay, to round up, can you describe how your training has helped you thus far. Like, you look so fit and so great.
Well, I'll tell you, I learned some of the exercises that I did at the Outward Bound School, and I sort of maintained that. I've incorporated it with a little bit of weight training. Of course, I used to play a lot of soccer, but I maintained that exercise.
Very strong.
I would not say I'm very fit.
Are you fit enough to climb the Kilimanjaro again?
Oh, no.
Thank you, Tony, for sharing your story with us. But before we go, you did mention that you grew up in Tanzania and you speak fluent Swahili.
Mimi nilizaliwa Tanzania.
What does that mean?
I was born in Tanzania.
Okay. For our viewers, can you tell us your name in
Jina yangu Tony Fernandez.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Tony. Thank you, viewers, for joining us on this amazing adventure. Climbing the Kilimanjaro here with Tony. Looking forward to seeing you at our next episode. Hopefully, something that would beat the Kilimanjaro climb.